Serious question. How can asylum seekers afford to come to the United States in the first place?
Mm.
This hit me just a moment ago. I said, wait a minute. Especially people from, very dirt poor countries, right? Let's take Somalia just for an example because it's in the news right now. A flight from Somalia to the United States in 2024 was between $1,200 to $1,700 US, okay? Around 2,400 people came and applied for asylum from Somalia that year. The average salary in Somalia is 640 US dollars a year. 640 US dollars a year. That means that each individual was paying about a year and a half worth of salary to come here. Where did they get the money? Where did they get the money? Right? And I would ask this question about any nation that is supposedly so dirt poor, right? Where their citizens are suffering so much. How are you affording to make the trip to the United States? Where is the money coming from?
Well, this is going to get you. The money that you give to these churches, these nonprofits, the government, this is how they get over there. They pay for these people and bring them over here. So your tax dollars that you're paying, whether that's to the government, whether that's you feel like you want to give money to the needy with these nonprofits, what about your tithes going to churches? All this money is going to bring them people over here. And typically they go to places that need help with votes. That's the reason why the Somalis are in Minnesota. Oh, that's our land. We were supposed to get that. No, you guys were planted there so you guys can get more votes for the Democrats. A lot of these people that were brought over here were planted in certain places to keep the status quo and to keep that whoever's in power in power. Why do you think a lot of Afghanis went to Washington? Because Democrats. When you look at these refugees and asylum seekers, look at where they go. The Latinos come to California. Come on in. How are they getting in here? Nonprofits, churches, government. Open up the borders. Who pays for it? People like us. That's the bad thing about when you look at a lot of these churches, when you look at a lot of these nonprofits, and you look at the government. When we have a Democrat president, like President Biden, that has access to all the federal funding, this is what he was doing. He was paying for those flights. He was paying for their insurance, paying for their living, paying for their food, because he was buying votes and he still lost. But we still have these governors, Gavin Newsom. We have the new governor of New York. We got the Mamdanis. We got the Mayor Johnson in Chicago. We got all these, Minnesota, Tim Walz, Jacob Frey. We got all these people that are using our money to bring them over there so they can get the votes and stay in power. The only reason why asylum seekers or refugees or undocumented immigrants are important is because of the votes and the cheap labor. Anybody that you see in Congress that care about them is because of the votes and the cheap labor. They do not. It's not a humanitarian issue. It's capitalism. It's politics. They try to make it and say, "Oh, they need the help. Oh, we got to pay for them to come over here. So I got to pay for somebody to come over here that can potentially take my jobs and opportunity and keep me from feeding my family." That's the reason why we don't need refugees and asylum seekers. That's the reason why you see this thing in Iran. Don't get it twisted. Oh, they need to come over here. So now we're going to start having Iranian refugees and asylum seekers because what's going on in Iran. When you see, I really got hip to this. When you see chaos in different countries and it's on the media, it's because they're broadcasting to America, we need help and bring our people to your country. That's why I say we don't need refugees. We don't need asylum seekers. We don't need anybody that's not from here. If you have a problem in your country, it's time for you guys to figure it out. Because why am I paying money to the government and they're paying for tickets to bring people over here to take opportunity and money away from me and my family? So to her question, we are paying for these people to come over here through our donations, through our tax dollars. We are. And we're bringing people over here who do not care, who do not wish to assimilate. They wish to dominate. But they use sympathy. They use feelings and emotions. Oh, help us, please. We're so broke. Our country's so bad. This is why we have a president that's like, that's not our business. Everybody in Iran protests here, protests there. Because what they want people to come over here for free. And we have a president that says, we'll help, but we ain't bringing y'all over here. This is what they do to get into other countries. They broadcast their chaos. If you guys want to kill each other, that's on you guys. If you guys have a problem with your leader, do as you please. That's not my business. If you don't want to have democracy and you want to do a coup, that's on you. I don't care. But we have no responsibility and we have no business stepping into foreign territory and bringing their people to our territory. That makes no sense.
This is a valid question because, of course, I have to assume, especially given what we know now about the fraud that's going on in the Minnesota Somalian community, I would have to assume that they're stealing money from the U.S. and sending it back to bring more of them here. And mind you, the vast majority, we're talking like 94% of these asylum seekers, when they come here, they immediately go on public assistance. So they're not coming with a bunch of, I mean, maybe they have savings for all we know. Maybe they're just not telling us when they get here. They're, what are we looking into foreign bank accounts? Maybe they do have savings, but all we know for sure, statistically, is that when they come, they are extremely likely to immediately go on social services programs as soon as they can. So where are they getting the money to travel across the world? I can't afford a flight from America to Somalia right now. I can't afford that. I can barely afford a trip to Mexico if I wanted to go. Where are tens of thousands of people getting the money to come to the United States in the first place?
It's coming from us. But now, as you see all of the fraud and you see where our tax dollars are going, now do you understand why the billionaires and the millionaires want to pay as little tax as possible? Now, given the fraud that we see, do you now understand why these millionaires and billionaires and these corporations don't pay a lot of tax? Because these people already know the money ain't going to anything important. The money's not going to it's not. So why would we give you our money? This is the reason why you got to start figuring out your taxes. This is the reason why you got to get your little business to pay as little amount of taxes as possible. It's because you see now, we see it. The money that we're paying in taxes is not going to anything but somebody else's pockets, or the money's going to somebody that can take an opportunity from our kids. So why the hell do you want to pay taxes? There's no point. We got people that are getting our tax dollars and they come here and they living off of our tax dollars. And then next you know, they get ahead of us off of our tax dollars. And these church donations and these nonprofits. The game is rigged. But now that you know that it's rigged, what are you going to do? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Always going to keep this thing rocking, keep it going. I appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you tap in and get into that Go Getter Patreon. I got stuff in there. Continue to add stuff in there every day. But I appreciate you guys' support. I'm going to keep it rocking, keep it going. I'm out.